This is TWiT.
All right, we've sent Patrick into space because he is about to play a game in PhaseSpace. Joining me right now, Robert Jaeger Slaughter from PhaseSpace. This is the Impulse X2 motion tracking system. Hi, Robert. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
So what are we looking at here? These guys are going to play a space game?
Yes. So one of our customers named Motion Technology, they're from South Korea.
Yeah.
They created a virtual reality video game out of our tracking system. And it's a 4-person game with 3D printed backpacks, haptic vests, and 3D printed and haptic rifles.
But this isn't specifically the PhaseSpace system. This is an example of how you would use the PhaseSpace system to create a virtual reality game, for instance. So what is unique about PhaseSpace? You have how many cameras around these guys right now?
Right now there's 24 cameras around.
Now I have an Oculus Rift, which has one camera, a Vive. It has not even cameras, 2 motion sensing units. This is very different. These are actual cameras?
No, they're not actual cameras because they're not. They don't have video detectors in them. They have 2 linear detectors. Each linear detector has 3,600 pixels, and so it gets a 3,600 by 3,600 pixel resolution.
Holy cow!
And so
that's a pretty high res picture.
Right. So
and it's seeing the red LEDs on their headsets and their guns. That's what it's tracking.
Each one of those red LEDs is oscillating its frequency at a unique pattern. So each one of them has its own ID.
Oh, neat.
So no marker is going to get swapped by another marker because there's a lot of other systems that use reflective markers. And if you get 2 reflective markers too close to each other, they could send the same signal back and then you ruin your game or ruin whatever 3D character you're trying to design.
We've seen motion capture.
Right now he's trying to walk over a platform.
Don't fall, Patrick! Seamus, go push him. Go. Whoa! Is it scary? Is it realistic? So we've seen motion capture before. It's used in the NBA 2K, for instance, to capture basketball players. It's used in movies. The new Spider-Man, there's mocap in the new Spider-Man.
Right.
So they'll capture them, or even in Gollum in the Lord of the Rings. Andy Serkis wearing a motion capture outfit. They were capturing his movements and then using CGI to translate that into a character. But this is real time, and it's not for purposes of capture so much as a game.
So we have been used as motion capture before. Ted, the movie Ted with the teddy bear.
Yeah.
We worked on that movie. Also, The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. We did the motion capture for that movie as well.
No kidding.
Yeah. But since our system can actually give you the raw data immediately within 3 milliseconds, it can also be used for real-time virtual reality video games. So,
and is this a higher resolution experience than, say, your Oculus Rift would be? It looks like they're wearing Oculus Rift.
They are wearing Oculus Rifts, but we have turned off the Oculus tracking, and we're using our own tracking. We are using the IMU inside the Oculus, but we're using our own tracking. We've turned off the Oculus tracking. The Oculus tracking only does, I think, about 30 frames a second. Well, we're tracking at 960 frames a second.
And you're doing 6 degrees of freedom, which means you can move in 6 different ways. Pitch, yaw, forward, backward, up and down.
Right.
And so that's real. That's every motion, that's every degree of freedom that you would have in real life. So what you're essentially doing is feeding the Oculus software with better information than Oculus itself.
Better tracking information, yes, and better graphics.
What a great application.
Backpacks.
So this application obviously is for an amusement arcade.
Right.
Could you put this in a home?
We couldn't put this system in a home, but right now we are trying to develop a home system that you could potentially put 1 camera in each corner. Put 1 camera in each corner of your living room if you have a big enough living room.
What are they shooting, by the way?
They're shooting robots that are attacking them. Wait until the big mechs come out, and they'll be really intimidated. It's really
so they're Space Marines, they're in the Nostromo, and they've got to defend it against these incoming robots. It looks like they're doing a pretty good job, I gotta say.
They are doing a pretty good job.
Are you having fun, Melinda? Is this fun? She's busy.
I don't think they can hear you because the Oculus is.
It's pretty loud, so they're also an oral experience as well as a visual experience.
Right.
Wow. This looks like a lot of fun. Now, is this less expensive than, say, the studio-style motion capture? I mean,
in terms of cost, I would say it's probably equals the studio cameras.
What's the advantage? It's higher resolution.
Way higher resolution, way higher speed. You're going to get the tracking information in such low latency that no one's going to be able to notice it.
So
even
I
with the latency.
I get a little queasy when I use Oculus Rift or Vive. That's because of the higher latency and the lower frame rate and the lower resolution.
Right, and that choppy feeling you get when you move your head too fast or you move too fast. That's exactly what makes people nauseous, is when your movements don't match up with what you're seeing on your eyes.
This is 960 frames a second.
Yeah.
It's not using all 960, but it has that available to it.
I'm sure the game is not using all 960, no, but
it could.
Our server is sending the game
Holy
the rigid
cow. Super
data,
high resolution frame rate.
960 frames a second, yes.
Less than 3 milliseconds latency. That is amazing. And how hard is this to set up? You actually, I'm kind of blown away that you actually set this up in an hour. You came over here with a couple of boxes, and this is
with
working in our
tripods,
studio.
it's very easy to set up because we daisy chain all of our cameras. There's not a cord going from every camera to the server. We only have one cord going from camera to camera to camera, just like Christmas tree lights. And so in that way, it's a lot easier and it's a lot faster to set up than most other motion
is it
capture
SDI
systems.
you're sending serial digital interface stuff, or is it some proprietary
We
interface?
can, the hardware is proprietary, it's our hardware, but we can send the rigid body data in any format that you want.
Or Ethernet, or
the cameras are powered by Ethernet, so there's an Ethernet cord going
PoE?
from camera to camera,
Okay,
PoE.
okay.
So the data and the power is going through the Ethernet
That's pretty
cords.
cool.
Yeah.
That really simplifies the setup.
Because we're using linear detectors and not video detectors,
Yeah.
we're actually getting a lot less data every time we take a snapshot of every 960 frames a second. And so that's a lot less data going through that pipeline and a lot less data that the server has to, compile at the end of the line.
PhaseSpace does a lot of interesting stuff. I know you've worked with the police departments and other groups. You've been around for a while?
PhaseSpace has been around for about 20 years.
That's a long
I've been working
time.
there for about 2 years. Yeah, PhaseSpace has been around.
But PhaseSpace in general.
PhaseSpace, yeah.
And this motion capture, is this the center core of its business these days?
When it started, motion capture was absolutely the center core of the business. Most of its customers were buying the system to create their own motion capture studios.
Right.
Since it's so precise and so fast, a lot of robotics companies have bought it, and a lot of biomechanic companies who do like gait analysis and things like that have purchased it. USC, University of Michigan, NASA has bought a couple of ours.
Really?
Google, the Toyota and Honda technology centers have bought. So anybody, Carnegie Mellon, which is apparently the world's biggest robotics institution, has bought several of our systems.
Oh, this is really interesting.
And those have been the core of our customers for about the past 10 years. And now we're really getting into virtual reality because our system is already set up, really. We didn't even have to change anything for our system. It's already set up perfectly for virtual reality.
This was kind of a resolution of data that was needed for motion pictures and in a situation where you could do it in post-production, so you could take all that data, you could create something. But now you've got it to the point where you could actually do it in real time with existing consumer-grade VR equipment. That's pretty exciting. Are you talking to Oculus? Are you talking to Vive about making this part of what they offer?
Well, yesterday I just went to Google.
Nice.
We've had presentations at Facebook for Oculus.
Nice.
And next year we hope to have presentations with Intel, who has chips in almost every headset these days, the Lenovo's and the Acers and all of them. And so what we're trying to do is create a set, since we normally don't create any hardware outside of our tracking system, we are trying to create a turnkey system that you can sell to an LBE, and it has the headset and the tracking system and the backpack all tied in. Just one big.
This is a hot category. These are basically virtual reality amusement parks. I love this. It's so much fun, and this could really make it possible for a lot more of these.
Dubai, the United Arabs, and they have the world's biggest virtual reality arcade, and they use our tracking system.
Do they?
There. Yeah.
That's neat.
Starbreeze used our tracking system for the Star VR headsets, and I got to go to Dubai and check out all the crazy VR games there.
What fun!
It's about 4 stories tall. It was pretty intense.
How you guys doing? Are you winning?
No.
Hey, I really want to thank you, Robert Jaeger Slaughter. He's with PhaseSpace, PhaseSpace.com. Infinite possibilities. And can you just leave this here for a couple of weeks?
Yeah.
We'll take good care of it.
I'll be back in January.
Are you?
Okay.
Okay, good. That looks like a lot of fun.